trees. They're beautiful here. Reminds me of autumn at home.
Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I'd like to share a special video with you all, a birthday surprise for my good friend and fellow Skyrim YouTuber, Boon23.
Surprise!
To show my appreciation for Boon's friendship, and everything he does for the Skyrim YouTube community, I wanted to do a build inspired by his pure Bosmer Predator Una. Not only that, I wanted to do the build in Boon's signature style of legendary survival mode with additional harsh restrictions. Well, here she is, Wendriel, my pure Green Pact Bosmer. Let's get to know her. Wendriel was born in Malabar Tor, the region of dense jungle that occupies northwestern Valenwood. Her clan were strict followers of the Green Pact, adhering to the meat mandate, and viciously defending their territories from anyone who would harm the green. Most locals knew to avoid the area, but after attacking a logging party and the accompanying Thalmor, Wendriel was captured and taken prisoner. After learning that the Thalmor had responded by brutally eradicating her family, Wendriel managed to escape. She fled north, pursued by Thalmor agents and assassins, eventually making her way to Skyrim. For a time, Wendriel was able to live peacefully in the forests of Skyrim. However, as she moved deeper into the province, Wendriel once again encountered the Thalmor. Unable to control her anger and hatred, she attacked them, but was once again captured. Before she knew it, Wendriel was sentenced to death and sent to Helgen for her execution. Like Boon, we'll be playing a pure Bosmer, meaning we can only put perks into their racial skills: alchemy, archery, light armor, lockpicking, pickpocket, and sneak. Wendriel is allowed to use other skills, such as one-hander or speech, but is not allowed to put any perks into them. To make things more challenging, we will also have the following additional stipulations: no casting spells or using scrolls and staffs, no followers or pets, no entry to closed cities, no joining factions, kill all Thalmor on sight, play on legendary difficulty with survival mode active at all times, and most importantly, adhere to the tenets of the Green Pact, which are as follows. 1. Do not harm the forests of Valenwood. Typically, the Green Pact only applies to the forests of Valenwood. But, since we're living in Skyrim, we will offer the same reverence to these forests as we would the green. This means that we cannot harvest any plants, including mushrooms, or pick up fallen fruits. We also aren't allowed to chop firewood, or purchase lumber to build homesteads. 2. Do not eat anything made of plant life. Eat only meat. In addition to not picking fruits and vegetables, we also aren't allowed to eat anything made from them. In survival mode, this means we can't even make any of the hot foods, since all of them include at least one plant-based ingredient. Cheese is allowed, and so is mead, but not wine, ale, or other spirits. Importantly, since potions are an ingestible item, we will not be using any plants for alchemical purposes. 3. When enemies are conquered, their meat must be eaten, not left to rot. For the most part, this will mean that if you kill an animal, you must take and consume its flesh. Therefore, don't kill an animal for its pelt unless you will also take the meat. You could get the Ring of Namira, which allows you to feed on human corpses, but this would require you to enter Markarth twice and breach one of our other rules. I didn't use it for my playthrough, but decide for yourself if you'd like to use it. 4. Do not kill wastefully. This is another simple one. Essentially, don't kill anything unless you are going to take the pelts and or flesh, or use them to make potions or poisons. 5. Do not take on the shape of beasts. Quite simply, this means you cannot obtain either the werewolf or vampire lord forms. But since we aren't joining factions, this shouldn't be a problem. The racial skills of the Bosmer lend themselves to a stealth archer playstyle, which suits Wendriel perfectly. She loves stalking her prey, patiently creeping closer to get the best shot and test her hunting prowess. A masterful archer, she is also capable of striking from long distance or hitting targets mid-flight. Aside from her trusty bow, Wendriel also carries an axe and dagger, which she uses to skin animals and break down their carcasses, as well as defend herself in close quarters. Their weapons are made from obsidian, a material commonly utilised by the Bosmer, making them lightweight and razor sharp. Stone and bone are also frequently used, which Wendriel incorporates into arrows and accessories. I left her primary weapons unenchanted, but also carried a secondary bow for trapping souls. If you want to enchant your weapons, Absorb Health is useful to offset the lack of passive healing in survival mode. Or there's the Huntsman's Prowess effect, for a small damage increase against animals. Fire damage is useful against trolls, but I think the Silent Moon's enchantment would be a better fit for a forest dweller. Like many Bosmer, Wendriel prefers light, breathable clothing made of natural materials like wool or felt, and adorned with furs, leather, and beads. Due to Skyrim's colder climate, she dresses for warmth as well as motility. There are many sets of light armor that employ leather and fur, and you should feel free to use any combination you like, particularly if you intend to obtain the Unhindered perk. Kind's Token is a useful bone necklace, which reduces the damage from animals and modestly increases damage with a bow. I also enchanted a Bonehawk necklace with a stronger archery effect, which matches the hunter's backpack. I preferred a circlet of archery to a helmet, and carried a ring and gauntlets to fortify the same. The charmed necklace and boots of hauling were useful when collecting pelts, as were items to fortify sneak. I also kept the odd health, stamina, and pickpocket item handy, and you might also find a lockpicking enchantment useful. Aside from her hunting skills, Wendriel is also a master alchemist, capable of brewing restorative potions and deadly poisons. Wendriel can craft an array of items from leather and maintain her equipment to ensure it remains effective. She happily trades wares with small town merchants and travelling caravans, but never stays longer than necessary and avoids larger cities altogether. When she isn't hunting, Wendriel also enjoys fishing in the rivers and lakes, but always disposes of her trash responsibly. Her reverence for nature means Wendriel won't attack Spriggans, and in fact, she will aid them in defending their groves against invaders. Her deep hatred of the Thalmor means Wendriel will hunt down any Old Mary agents she encounters, striking from the shadows to instill fear and deny them the chance to defend themselves. Wendriel is also particularly angered by lumberers, especially those she believes should know better. Let's take a look at how Wendriel's stats, skills, and perks ended up. She made it to level 48 with 100 magicka, 450 health, and 220 stamina. With the exception of enchanting, which I took to 100, all of the mage skills have remained at 15. For the warrior skills, I also took smithing and archery to 100, with one-handed reaching 43. The other skills have all remained at their base values, aside from a couple of increases from reading skill books. With the thief skills, we can see that Wendriel is adept or better across the board. Of course, both sneak and alchemy have reached 100, while lockpicking and speech made it to 81 and 63 respectively, and I took both pickpocket and light armor to the low 50s, mainly to access specific perks. For archery, I took all 5 of the marksman perks, as well as the left branch up to quickshot, and the right branch up to ranger. If you'd like to add the bullseye or steady hand perks, you could easily spend the points here, rather than light armor, lockpicking, or pickpocket. With light armor, I only took what was necessary to get the unhindered perk, but you could always just get the steed stone, which has the added benefit of increased carrying capacity. For sneak, I ended up taking all of the stealth perks, then the right branch up to deadly aim, and the left branch up to silence. Again, you could add the Shadow Warrior perk at the expense of one of your lesser used skills. Normally, I wouldn't put perks into lockpicking, but for this build, I took the perks required to get Quick Hands and Treasure Hunter. This was mainly to try and get some better items while dungeon delving. For pickpocket, I mainly wanted the extra pockets perk, but also took Cut Purse and 3 ranks in Light Fingers to make things easier. Finally, I took all of the Alchemist perks, as well as the Benefactor and Poisoner perks to maximize the potency of everything I brewed. I also took the Concentrated Poison perk for maximum value, as well as the Snake Blood perk for some added insurance. As always, I have listed the order in which I selected the perks in the video description below. You should also feel free to redistribute things based on your own preferences. Now let's get stuck into the summary of my playthrough.
Who are you?
I've been hunting and fishing in these parts for years.
We should
I
keep
went with
moving.
Hadvar
Come here. Let me see if I can get those bindings off.
and focused on training sneak, and lockpicking. I activated survival mode and the Thief Stone, then got some clothes and enchanted items from the Shrine of Talos. After making a hunter backpack,
Not bad.
I killed Anise,
I've outlived wastefulness.
to get safe storage and crafting stations in her basement. I did some disenchanting, then cleared Embershard Mine of bandits and iron ore. At every possible opportunity, I collected salmon roe, using command animal whenever possible, as well as hissed carp. I went all the way to Biledolch Mine, just for their smelter, and began training smithing by making leather scout armor. Next, I cleared out White River Watch, and the Valheim Towers, to get more magical items. I also cleared out Fort Amol, then did some more disenchanting, and used the soul gems I found to enchant iron daggers with the best enchantment I had available. I then climbed up to Clear Spring Tarn, where I entered the cave, snuck past the troll, and grabbed the bow of the hunt. It does 20 points of additional damage to animals, which made hunting for pelts much easier early on. I killed the spiders in Red Belly Mine, so I could rest in Kilnyar's house,
I can't believe it.
then did some more smithing, before clearing Fort Greenwall. I gave Wujita a
Take
healing
this.
potion,
It's all I can offer you for what you've given me.
so I could loot the fish barrels at Riften Docks, before doing some hunting, and adventuring throughout the rift. After freeing the Spriggan trapped in Snapleg Cave, I also did some disenchanting, and found the alchemy enchantment. I celebrated by killing my first Thalmor patrol, then took a cube from an Argonian,
From me. Please, take it now.
and ventured into a Vanchenzel to collect dwarven oil and soul gems. With the lexicon taken care of, I used the field soul gems to enchant more iron daggers, then combined the dwarven oil with hissed carp and salmon roe to power level alchemy, before brewing some poison. My next stop was Froki's shack to learn of Kind's sacred trials.
Kind and her sacred trials.
You could just murder him and take Kind's token, but Wendriel respects those who respect nature.
The beasts, and blesses the hunter who will face their champions.
At this point, I was able to make a soul trapping bow and obtain the smithing enchantment. I focused on defeating the first set of guardian spirits, while also clearing locations and collecting resources along the way. After returning to Froki,
After all, now you're ready for a real challenge.
I reached 100 sneak while doing the fan favorite quest, then miraculously found the banish enchantment, which I immediately put to good use. I defeated the Guardian Bear and Saber Cat spirits, then completed the Once a Hunter quest, before taking on the Guardian Mammoth spirit and returning to Froki.
Better not get me sick.
After some more alchemy, I defeated the Guardian Troll spirit, earning Wendriel Kind's
You have
token.
earned the blessing of Kine, and can count me as a friend.
After completing the Over the Edge and Double-Edged quests, I climbed up to Angie's camp and completed her trials to reach 100 archery.
All 4 targets in 10 seconds. Nice job.
Soon after, I also reached 100 enchanting, which meant I could enchant a set of alchemy gear and take that to 100 as well. According to the Green Pact, you can only make marksman potions with Anniversary Edition, but poisons of damage health, lingering damage health, paralysis, slow, and ravage health are all possible in Special Edition. I then started training Pickpocket more seriously, before heading to the Reach, where I cleared Kolskiga Mine of Forsworn and Gold Ore. After that, I kicked the Silverbloods out of Carthwayston and took the silver for myself. I used the gold and silver to make expensive jewellery, then crafted iron plate armour from my remaining iron ingots, and continued making leather scout armour until I reached 100 smithing. Next, I enchanted some smithing gear, and tempered a set of elven armour, then added some health and healing rate enchantments, stocked up on potions, and found some mud crabs to train light armour. Once I reached 50 light armour, I set sail for Solstheim,
We'll cast off immediately.
so I could get some Dunmer shoes and hunt the mighty Netch. After adding the Dunmer shoes to my smithing gear and upgrading my weapons to legendary, I considered the build complete. This means it was time for one final adventure, assaulting Northwatch Keep and killing every single Thalmor agent there. Since we can't enter walled cities to start the main quest, that means we can't enter the Thalmor embassy. Unless we breach the wall with a bucket. Take that, Wendriel. Once inside, you can also grab a platter and push through to the party room for more fun. Unfortunately, Valenwood is essential until after you complete Dragon Slayer. I found getting out a bit more difficult and had to go through the kitchen. But afterwards, the front gate will become pickable, and you can finish off the rest of the Thalmor. Then you can get back to your simple life, appreciating the forests of Skyrim, and defending them from devastation. Well, that's it for this build. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed this alternative video format. Once again, happy birthday, Boon. I hope you had a fantastic day, and I wish you all the best for a speedy recovery. Thanks everyone, and see you all next time.